Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Mitch's Minute, the show where we give you guys updates on what's going on with the show while we're on our hiatus and kind of what's going on. Things that we're into, things that have been going on throughout the week. I'm your host Mitch, and joining me this week are the same people who were with us last time and will
As
probably be with us.
always.
Yeah, probably with us every time. Which is Nate and Amanda.
Yeah.
What's up?
We have spent a lot of time together today. It has been a long day for all of us.
Oh, you sound disappointed.
What are you talking about? My day hasn't even begun yet.
That's right, Mr. Time Zone.
Mr. Time Zone, yeah.
So today we did today we got like 10 episodes done for a series that I'm really excited for. We got a lot of really, really funny bits. As I adjust my microphone real quick, because it's set up for me leaning down and playing my fucking game. But yeah, no, we had a lot of fun today. We caught a horse and did temples and shit, and that was fun. But you guys will catch that all.
But might be spoiling what it is.
I'm not spoiling it. It's just I'm giving hints.
It's vague.
Giving clues. The magic of clues. Also, I'm sorry. Last week we were not live because I couldn't remember if I told you guys or not, and I felt bad about it. We weren't live last week because Amanda, you came to visit us over here.
Yeah, I was in town.
And then you came here, and then we went out of town immediately. So
yeah,
we'll be talking a little bit about all the fun stuff that happened there. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick channel update before we go any further. So we are falling a little behind on our not our upload, but our recording schedule. Currently, we're just trying to find time to do it. Although today was a really good test run. Today we got way more videos done, and we still have more stuff planned later tonight. Yeah. So I think the current way we're doing it, which is just for context for the viewers at home, normally what we did in the first couple weeks was we treated the recording sessions like how we would schedule streams. So we'd have it so that there was 8 o'clock from that time to this time we would get like a couple videos in. And the problem with it is that one, our schedules stopped lining up properly because of just real life stuff, and then on top of that, there was no real reason for us to schedule it that way. So what we tried today was we started because all of us are in different time zones. We decided to start at roughly around like sometime in the morning, whether that would be 11, 8, or 1 in the morning. And we then recorded for 4 hours, and now we just ended our like 6-hour break, something like that. And now, because Nate stayed up for us.
Because I went to bed at 5 a.m.
That's right. So you went to bed at 5 a.m. It is going to be like 12 or 1 for you when we get started, and then we're going to record another like couple videos from a different show. So two of our the good news is like 2 of our big like shows that I'm really hoping to push right out the gate when we come back. Those will be done and like settled up, and you guys will get like a bunch of those episodes right out the gate. We're still kind of. It's been weird. It's been kind of weird just because, like I say this every week, but like it just feels kind of weird because we're not really we're not streaming as often, so it doesn't feel like there's a real presence here. But we are working, we are preparing, we are getting everything set, and I'm still excited. I also feel bad because I'm like, there's also a chance that we said originally like 2 to 3 months, and it might be pushing into 3 to 4, depending on how it goes. But we're trying our best. Ron is also getting her stuff together, so hopefully we can get some more Amnesia Memories done. Sora and Amanda and I have been recording some Kingdom Hearts 3, but we also plan a different show when that one's over. So I'm actually really excited about the one after Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh yeah, dude, me too. I'm very excited. I can't wait. And I'm excited for where we're at in Kingdom Hearts 3 because the last couple of worlds. Ooh.
Yeah. So
Oof.
I just want you to know that like even if we push the hiatus into another like month, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think we'll be okay. It's just it's less about how much material we have and more about trying to set up the aesthetic and the look and getting that stuff down. So we will be good on that end. I think we'll be solid. It's just like I said, I just want to let everyone know that there is a chance that we might be pushing. But it's not like, we are coming back. I didn't go out and get cigarettes and never came back. I am coming back.
That was my joke.
How dare you?
How dare!
Oh man.
You know what? I'm gonna give it to you because you laugh at my stupid jokes, like the balance joke.
Oh, the balance joke is dumb, but it's so dumb that it catches me off guard, and transcends into amazing. That's how that joke functions.
Yeah. Sure.
That's how it works, man. That's how it goes. That being said, though, why don't we get into before we get into the next couple topics, is there anything you guys want to say about the update or anything like that? I kind of just rolled the fucking conversation there for a good chunk.
Yeah, no.
No.
That's the thing, you say it all. So we're just like, yeah, we're doing good.
Yeah,
we're trying our best. Woohoo!
On a completely different note, I did get a Tracer Funko Pop. I know some of you at home are like, hey, Mitch, didn't you already have a Tracer Funko Pop? And I'm like, yeah, I did. I also got the Hot Topic exclusive Punk Tracer. And
Oh my god.
I wanted
Of course it was a Hot Topic exclusive.
Dude, we saw it and we were like, whoa, like it's my favorite skin.
Whoa!
Wow! Wow!
Fucking nerds.
Gilgamesh!
Another Funko Pop for my collection, baller, dude.
No, the problem is that I got one more Funko Pop, so I had a perfect 4x3 wall, right? It was perfect.
I love how in the fucking comments, like in the chat, people are like, "Oh my god, not again! Don't leave for cigarettes again."
Like again?
I just also wanted to say hi real quick to the ones in chat: Loot, Mercy, Insane Oddball, Oceano. It's always good to see you guys. But no. So what happened was we went out, and I've been rewatching a specific show with all of you. Yeah, that's right, guys. We're gonna do Endgame last, so that people who don't want spoilers don't have to deal with that. We were out and about. I had a perfect 4x3 Funko Pop wall, and I was like, "This is good. This is great. I'm fine. I'm done. I don't have to worry about this anymore." Motherfucker, fucking Amanda grabs Son of Zorn. There's a Funko Pop of Zorn with the hot sauce from my favorite episode of a canceled Fox TV show.
Whatever, you like it. I don't care.
I do. I super appreciate it. But
That's
now
where the aggravation comes from. Because it's like, my wall was perfect. Why'd you need to give me something more perfect?
Well, no, I needed... So now, yeah, but then it became a 4x3 plus 1. Because Zorn was up there on this lonely tower. And now I have Tracer. I should just take a picture at some point. Now I have Tracer up there. And now I'm feeling like I might be a madman. Because now I'm like, I should get like 2 more shelves. And what I should do is I should make the entire top thing just pops. Because there's so many pops that I kind of want. And then make the 2 bottom shelves Gunpla, anime figurines, little things from Japan, stuff like that, like the Aquaman stuff. I also want to get. When is it gonna
be, Mitch? When's your house gonna look like an actual place where you would buy the Funko Pops, where it's literally just a wall of them?
Honestly,
you mean Hot Topic? Hot Topic.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
I know we have like other topics to
but Funko Pops though. Fuck those other topics. Funko Pops though.
Like, okay, so
I pre-ordered my Ryuji, man. It's fine.
No, so here's the thing, right?
God.
So here's the thing. I'm like, man, there's so many Funko Pops, and I'm like, man, there's so many collectibles, because I'm like, oh, those Overwatch action figures that just came out, I want to get those and keep them in the box and get like one of those like little pin things so they hang up on the wall, so it looks like if you wanted to, you could pick it out and buy it. Like that's what I want my office space to look like. I want it to make it look like it's a
You
place.
want to make your office look like a store?
Exactly. Like I want, because that was the original plan, was to build a 4x3 little Funko Pop wall and then get like a little sign that hangs over and it says like $9.95, ask manager for a deal, like some dumb shit like that. Like I wanted that because I have this weird aesthetic where I love the organization that Hot Topic has, where it's like it's a big wall and it has a bunch of like little like promotion stuff, and it's like, I don't know. And then I wanted to do like a game.
I had to fucking organize that wall.
I forgot.
I know how you're like, oh, I like how organized. I fucking hated that.
I
it
bet
was a nightmare.
Oh, I bet, but I only have to do it once. That's the trick. So
I never have to do it again.
During like fucking Black Friday, there was literally a fucking customer that came in, got hella pissed off that like we didn't have something, took what she had in her hand and threw it into that wall. And it sent it all fucking falling.
Oh my god.
So there were hundreds of pops on the floor that had to be picked up, had to be fucking replaced on the floor to fucking like ceiling fucking wall, and then all of the damages had to be fucking like dealt with before we could go home.
Oh my god.
Before we could go home.
So
see, no, I'm just thinking of like the Funko Pop, like where I get mine from. It's like, so it's like huge shelving, but instead of having them just like on the shelves, there's actually like miniature drawers that they're in, basically. So it's like, it looks like there's 2 Funko Pops, but then you pull it out and then there's like 8 behind it.
Oh my god.
So it's like you're trying to look for a specific one, and it's like this was like the general vicinity of where, like, because they're usually together, and I'm like looking at the people that have to swap them out when a new one comes in, and I'm like, I'm so sorry for you.
Like, okay,
dude,
but there's
it was so often.
There's okay, but there's this thing, right? So as I keep staring up at my fucking collectibles little shelves, like there's this thing where I go online and I'm like, oh my god, I want this, and I'm like, Blue Eyes White Dragon, fucking Rathalos, fucking all this cool shit.
Mitch, don't buy the Blue Eyes White Dragon one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Because I already bought you.
Okay. Maybe not that one. But
yeah, no, like that was the same issue I had. Please don't buy this thing that you've been looking at.
Don't buy the thing that you really
got
want.
It for you.
Like, okay, but then I'm like, oh, but there's the 6-inch ones, like Thanos and Kurama and all that stuff, and
yeah, but that'll fuck up your system.
Okay, so that's another thing, right? So I have to find a way.
That's why I need another fucking shelf to put them on.
So it's a legit shitty problem. Like I have like the biggest white world.
This is the first world problem Mitch has ever had in his life.
Like it's just this idea that I'm like, it's big. Well, it's weird because I don't collect things normally. Like if I collect something, it's normally like a one and done. You know, like maybe 1 or 2 things. Like I have some. You know, I should put these little Inkling amiibos up on the shelf. Why didn't I ever do that? But the point is that like there's all this stuff that I want to, and I like the aesthetic. Have you seen the fucking Overwatch action figures? They're in these really really nice boxes that are like they look so good, and like it's like, oh shit, I don't want to take them out and pose them. I would rather just keep them in the box, and I'm slowly but surely becoming that person. And I can feel it. I can feel every ounce of every dumb thing I've ever like liked and loved, and just be like, I can just put it here and just collect this shit and have something nice.
Eventually, it's like Mitch is like, eventually, I can do that to Mitch and Amanda. I can just put them in a box.
Well, so there's this part of me that like I'll be working, like editing something or just doing something stupid, and I'll lean back in my chair and I'll look up, and there's all my dumb collectibles, and there's like this sense of like adventure. Like I remember when I got like the
dude, trust me, like I have the exact same problem, but mine's posters.
That's fair.
Which, by the way, after Endgame, that wasn't fun to come home to. It's a lot of Marvel shit. And I'm
I
just
like the idea that you look at the poster and just start crying.
Dude, I'm not even joking. That's literally what happened.
Dude, I still... Okay. Nate, I'm looking up right now, and I see Parzival and Artemis from Ready Player One. I'm having the opposite of that feeling that you have.
Because you're just like...
How does it feel to treat me like you do?
Well, right behind my monitor, it's like the first poster I see is of Doctor Strange, Peter, and fucking Tony.
We'll get there.
So you know.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
All right, guys.
So,
go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just going to say fucking... If you want to have a really hard time to figure out what to do with your pops, one of my friends, my lovely, lovely friends for my birthday, got me a Funko Pop, like, plush sculpture.
What?
Okay, so it's literally a weird run that they had of fabric sculptures, and they got me like a Harley Quinn one.
Oh.
And yeah, so she's really fucking weird, but she's also ridiculously big because she's a stuffed animal that's a sculpture inside, and it's the weirdest shit, but it's like a legit Funko Pop. It's just a plushie.
I think I know what you're talking about, because I have like a Jack Skellington version of that.
Yeah, and it's huge, right? The box is just ridiculous to look at.
Yeah.
It's literally like twice the size of a normal Funko Pop, and I have no idea where to put it.
You put it somewhere and appreciate. Yeah, it's like just throw it somewhere and appreciate it from afar. Because I don't know what to put.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I have no idea what to do with it.
See, I just had to put mine on a shelf, otherwise the cats would attack it. But you know, that's what cats do.
Yeah.
So.
Just God.
So Son of Zorn, yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Zorn.
yeah. Let's go ahead and get that. Oh, what not? No, hang on. Well, hang on.
Head up.
No, it's there. It is. All right. So, Son of Zorn. So this show, I cannot emphasize enough how much I love. Just apparently the worst things that ever exist, I guess. Like every time I think of Son of Zorn, I think of all the super incredibly solid bits that came from that show.
And not the rest of it.
Well, yeah, so that's kind of the problem, right? So, like, Son of Zorn especially...
So it's like Gundam, right? Because that happened with Gundam, too. You're just like, oh, yeah, Gundam's so cool. We're watching through it. It's like, that bit was cool. What's the rest of it, though?
Well, it's so weird, right? So, okay, for context, for people who don't know, and you're looking at this picture, and you're like, what the fuck is this? I'll go ahead and kind of try to explain this a little bit. So, Son of Zorn was a series that...
Explain the fucking He-Man ripoff looking thing.
Alright, so it's a homage, one. Two,
I know it's a homage, but most people look at it and go, oh.
He-Man.
Ripoff.
So, Son of Zorn essentially is the show that I think it was 2016 to 2017. And it follows the title character, this animated character in front of you, Zorn, who is the defender of Zephyria, which is this fictional Pacific island out that's all He-Man-like and has technology, and like there's even like Skunk Man and Helmet Head and all this stuff. It's a huge play on like 80s cartoons and stuff like that, like the He-Man kind of stuff where everything was a little ridiculous, to the point where I think his arch nemesis is Vultrazor. Like it's the whole 9 yards. The idea is that this character had a son about like 16, 17 years ago, and he sees him every once in a while, but then he kind of takes this period where he doesn't see him for 10 years, and then he goes to Orange County to try to reconnect with him. His ex-wife is also engaged to a guy named Craig, and just shenanigans ensue. Now, the problem with the show, at the very, very get-go, I will admit this from the very, very get-go, the problem with the show is that it is incredibly slow. It is an incredibly slow show. That first episode is a real hard watch. I'm not gonna lie. After rewatching it, I found some gems here and there, but
it's still really hard to get through.
It's dry. It's a very dry episode. I feel like they don't really take advantage of all the shenanigans quite yet. Like, when it gets to, like, that's the thing. When it gets to later on, like, near the end of the season, you have a lot of real fun shenanigans and a lot of really weird things that happen. Zorn as a character is just he's that annoying, entitled character, but he's amazingly funny. A lot of the stuff he says is just, you know, a big part of comedy is being able to act like it's completely normal, but the context makes it funny. So Zorn will say something stupid, like it's like, "Oh, you're so tough, you wouldn't even kill a spider," and he's like, "Of course I wouldn't kill a spider. They're reincarnated wizards." And then the show just keeps going, and you don't think twice about it. But I sat there and I laughed. I belly laughed. Because I'm like, what is the context of this joke? What the fuck? Like it's like, what do you mean? What do you mean they're reincarnated
it's like,
wizards?
Of course I wouldn't do that.
Oh, no. Or fucking when he's like, who am I gonna fucking spend Christmas with? All of my slaves? And no one says anything.
Yeah.
It just mentions that fact that he owns slaves. And it's like, are we not going to acknowledge that you just...
No.
No?
Oh,
no.
Man.
All right.
But like, just like, it's, I don't know. You have two SNL alum. You have Tim Meadows and Jason Sudeikis as Zorn, and it is funny. It is like the way that
Eventually.
well, that's the trick, right? The first episode, I'd say the big zinger in the first episode, if I'm being honest, is probably the very end of that first episode. And then, like, I don't know, I can't remember exactly what, like, I think what happened was I tried to watch this show when it first came out and I couldn't stick with it. And then I think it was like the summer of that following year, I was like, oh, I'll give it another shot. And then I did, and it was great. And I loved it. I loved how off the walls it was. I loved how goofy the concept was. And I think the problem with the show, if I'm being completely honest with you, is that it tries to be like absurd humor, but it doesn't do it enough. I feel like it also, its marketing was horrendous.
Oh yeah, no, it had terrible marketing. And also, if I'm gonna like have like any complaint about it, it's that one of the main characters is just 100% unfunny. I dislike Alan. Alan is Zorn's son, and he has to spend time with him. Like, clearly, he's his kid. It's the entire point. His kid should be funny. He's not. I don't think I've ever laughed at anything his son has ever said, which is so unfortunate.
It's to be honest, like, I keep saying to be honest. Jason Sudeikis and Tim Meadows are like the ones who sell the show the most, and Linda, and the guy from accounting whose name escapes me right now, the other guy that like Zorn hangs out with. But like, there's also the hot sauce episode, which if you watch any episode of this dumb stupid show, the hot sauce episode is one of my favorite fucking episodes in the entire show. I was gonna say season, but it's show. It is one of my favorite It's just because of how completely ridiculous, and like that level is what the show should have been all season. Like, it should have been dumb shenanigans where like Zorn wants to fight someone. Also, the casual racism episode is pretty funny. It's just making fun of Safiria, like making fun of like barbarians and stuff like that, and having Zorn, who is, you know, like, it's funny because he's a fictional minority, and for something about that really makes me laugh.
Like, they even make up their own slur for Zephyrians, which is a Zephy.
Hey, you can't say that. I could say that because I'm from Zephyria.
Yeah, and he's like, you can't say that. And he's just like, but Dad, you say that all the time. He's like, yeah, but it's our word.
It's my word.
Oh, it's so funny. It's and that, like, I don't know. Oh, the episode with the radioactive girlfriend's also pretty funny.
Oh god, it's so solid.
But that's the thing. We keep saying like these things, but a lot of that stuff happens later on in the season, post episode like 4 or 3. Like a lot, some of that stuff gets like really, like some of it gets really funny. Like it's a really like I wouldn't say witty. It's a really interesting take on some aspects like casual racism, toxic relationships. Just I don't know. I think you're right. I do not like Elangulong. Upon rewatching Alan or Elangulong, the Zorn's son, it's just not fun. Just not fun. So
no, Elangulon is. It doesn't help that he's being played by a 30-year-old pretending to be like a 16, 17-year-old.
yeah, it really
That's
doesn't.
not great. Hello, my fellow kids.
Yeah, I don't know. There's weird moments. Although I will say one of my favorite moments in this show is looking at some of these background characters. Like in the first episode, the actress who plays Knives Chow from Scott Pilgrim is like this little girl he's interested in. And then you have some characters from like AP Bio and other shows like that. Like
We might want to explain the girl that the son is in, too, not that Zorn is in.
Oh, too. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of like solid bits, but we've been on about this. I would say this. If you're interested, it's on Hulu. It's like 13 episodes. If you're interested, go check it out. It's not a long watch. It's definitely not the greatest show ever, but it is something that I really, really love for some reason. And I think I'm just really upset because they never continued it. I would have loved to see where this show would have gone, where it would have picked up. Like, there's a cliffhanger at the end of season 1 that Nate and Amanda have not gotten to. So I won't go into it, but there is like a little bit of a cliffhanger. And I really wanted to see where the show was going to go from there, you know? Like, I thought that was going to be really interesting. And it almost felt like the showrunners were also like, yeah, let's just do this and then set up something for season 2. And then we never get there. So it's...
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's pretty solid. Honestly, I think you could probably skip the first episode if you really wanted to. Because I think, like, as long as you know the context is that ripoff He-Man moves to fucking real life to be with his, like, estranged son while dealing with his ex-wife and her new fiance.
Oh, dude, Tim Meadows steals the show sometimes, though. Like,
the actual age, like the actor for Alan, is 37 years old.
Oh my god!
He's almost 40.
Yeah.
I knew he was in his 30s. I didn't know he was that into his 30s.
Oh my god, really?
He's got more of a baby face than I do, and that's saying something.
Oh my god. Alright, you know what? Like I said, if you're interested in watching Son of Zorn, go ahead and check it out. I might reference it here and there, but this is probably the only time we're going to talk about it, unless like we finish the season, in which case we'll talk about it then. Let's get on to the next subject, which is... let's see here. As I move that one down. So Gundam 00, right?
You didn't mention you were going to talk about this.
All right. Well, no.
Yeah,
No. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to say this because I don't want to get into anything too much. It's a very quick one. Very quick one. Gundam 00. Finished it up. It is okay.
Yep.
It is solid. It is for what it is. It is okay. We're not gonna spend like 20 minutes talking about this. We're not even gonna spend 5.
We're not gonna spend like forever talking about it. It's okay. I wish it had a better ending. I kind of got mad a little bit at the ending. It doesn't help that they like legitimately left it on a semi cliffhanger, and it's only now getting a fucking movie for it.
Well,
and it's been like 10 years.
Well, it already got the movie.
Did it already get the movie?
Yeah, Awakening the Trailblazer was its technical conclusion, I think. So, but we gotta still check that out. But the point is, Gundam 00. It's fun. I am glad I watched it. I do really like Setsuna and Lock-On and all those characters. I did really enjoy hanging out with them for like 50 episodes. I would say that honestly, my only real gripe is pacing. Some the introduction of a bunch of unnecessary characters when we had tons of other characters that we already established in season 1. And yeah, I won't go that much into it just because we've talked about it the last couple times. We've spent like 20-40 minutes talking about this already. Gundam 00. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was agreeing. We should just probably move on. I mean, Gundam 00 is both good and bad, and it's really frustrating and enjoyable. And the names are still eternally terrible.
Right. So, with this, I will say this is probably the most casual, friendly Gundam show I've watched. And I've watched. I also have heard that very, very not casual, but new. Maybe that's a better term. I also heard that Iron-Blooded Orphans is also the same way, but I will go ahead and watch that at some time in the future. Alright, guys, you've sat here long enough and listened to us talk about Son of Zorn and Gundam and all this shit. It's time to get to the meat of it. Alright.
I don't know. Also, dragging someone else into the Gundam fandom is great.
That is also
Just
super
that
true.
Yeah.
So, Endgame, huh?
Yeah.
Alright,
yeah.
So, okay, so, who wants to go first? Because I feel like everyone here enjoyed the film. I still have I noticed a trend. I noticed a lot of people online were very gung-ho to dismiss this movie because,
really?
Well, once again, it's oversaturation. It didn't. If you're not into something and you keep pushing it and you keep saying it and it's everywhere, oversaturation happens. Then it's like, well, I don't want to get into it. I know a lot of people who weren't into Marvel who checked this out and said it was the most disappointing thing they'd ever watched in their entire lives. I do feel like that is an over-exaggeration.
Yeah, a little bit.
I really like this movie. I'm actually gonna go see it again at some point so I can get to watch it at a not so elevated. I did watch this opening weekend, so I don't want it to be...
So there were people legit in there fucking clapping and crying.
Yes.
Oh, I was crying like a bitch the whole time, man. There was not a lot of people in my theater. I was crying nearly the whole time.
I like the idea that you're crying at just things that you shouldn't be crying about, like the taco thing. They're like,
oh my god, no!
Yeah, like speaking of
fucking Nate. All I can imagine is Nate open mouth.
I'm just saying, if I was in that situation,
the Hulk dabbing. And there's nothing but just broken open mouth sobs.
So this is what
it wasn't that bad, but
already
it was on and off crying.
I'm gonna preface it with this. We are gonna get into some spoiler territory because there is no way to talk about this movie without getting into spoiler territory because nothing was revealed in those trailers at all.
It was pretty fucking vague.
It's very minimal. So that being said, So, me and Amanda and Tabby and my folks, we all went to go see this movie on a Sunday afternoon, and we still had a couple of claps and cheers and stuff like that. But one of my favorite moments in the movie happens to be this one scene in particular.
I know exactly the scene.
Peter hands the Infinity Gauntlet over to Carol Danvers, and then Carol Danvers is getting ready to run with it, right? And then all the girls across the Marvel Universe get together, and someone in the theater, a bunch of people start cheering, and then someone actually screamed, "Girl power!"
Yeah.
And my favorite part about that, because that's not the actual... It's not that I didn't like the actual moment. It was just it's kind of I get it. It's fun. And it's a fun moment, But my favorite moment is after going to see that movie is headed to the local Steak and Shake and talking with my dad about that. And my dad... And we're talking about that moment in particular about, it's all the girl power bit. And my dad looks at us like we're crazy. And he's like, oh, I just thought it was just fun. I don't know. I didn't think if it was anything like a message or anything like that. And I'm like, oh, Dad.
Oh, Dad.
He was oh, no. He just was. He sat in that movie theater and he just had a genuine good time. There was no pandering or anything like that.
Yeah.
Oh man. That being said, one of my another personal favorite moment from the theater experience was portals open up. First person to walk through that portal is King T'Challa, and it's the moment that people have been waiting for. Black Panther was a fucking box office hit, and the crowd goes crazy. And then the next person comes through, less crazy. Then Spider-Man. Doctor Strange. We all went back to being silent. You had one guy in the theater.
The one solo clap.
That's right. I felt so. I
know. We're just sat there like, did no one like Doctor Strange? Okay.
You know, the person that's kind of actually getting everyone to the same place.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Woo! Like, I felt so stupid. I was like, oh yeah, 'cause I thought,
yeah.
I thought the fucking thing that was gonna happen was like we were gonna have a moment where like the theater was gonna be like, yeah, it's T'Challa, and then like the next one comes up and everyone's gonna cheer for the next one, and I'm like, oh yeah, because I wanna like, you know, if I'm gonna clap for anyone in this movie, I'm gonna clap for my favorite heroes, which are the Guardians of the fucking Galaxy. And I felt like a fool. I waited for that clap.
I felt like a fool.
I waited for that clap, and the clap never came.
It never came.
But
yeah, Mitch was that one guy.
Woo! Guardians of the Galaxy. Fucking no. We all cheered for King T'Challa.
Why do you go high pitched? I'm just like,
Look, I get it. You guys were more excited for him and girl power, I guess, but not for Guardians. Anyone? No.
See, I feel kind of bad because, like, yes, I was hyped to see the Guardians again, but I'm just like, Peter's with them. Where is he?
Yeah, but you also have a huge bias towards Peter Parker in the same sense that I have a huge bias towards Tony Stark.
Exactly.
Oh God, I'm not watching another Avengers movie. Which is that's extreme. That's not proper. I just feel like if they make another Avengers movie, I'm gonna have a real hard time. Someone's gonna have to be like, Mitchell, I want to go see this. Do you want to go see this? And to be like, yeah, I'll go. I'll catch that.
Like, if you want to go, I'll go. Yeah, sure.
Like,
after this, I don't think it's gonna be like Marvel films aren't gonna be as hype.
Okay, but that's the thing. I liked Tony. Tony was the cool guy. He was the guy with the plan. He made sense to me during Civil War. Like, I like him in the comics. I like Tony Stark as a character. I like his arc. And I also read comics today, and that didn't help. I reread Civil War 2 like a fool. And
yeah, it's like
I know. I got my parents gave me a tablet, and I was reading comics on it today on my off time, and it's just
like a true adult.
You know, like fucking, I like the stories. Anyways,
I wasn't meaning anything by that.
You said it insultingly.
I know, like a true adult.
Like a mature adult. I don't know.
Did you not mean that facetiously?
No. I mean, like, yeah, you're an adult. You can do what you want.
And then once this is over, we really need to fucking work with you on, like, verbiage.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. It's like, hey, Nate, I went on a mile hike. I think I'm losing weight. Oh, good for you!
Good for you!
Jesus Christ.
For one, I probably would phrase it like that, because I'm an asshole.
Good for you.
Oh, man. Oh man. Well, okay. So that's the thing. So Endgame was great. I really enjoyed it. I think I do want to see it again because I feel like I want to sit there. I feel like there were some lines I missed because of just the stupid. Sometimes the theater clapping was a little bit much. I also really Okay, I really like Thanos. I know that that's a lot of people are like only edgelords like Thanos. Well, come at me, bitch. But the thing is
Not
that
really, no.
I I liked him. I thought that I thought Infinity War was like real solid. I thought that he had a hero's arc for a villain, which was fucking amazing. I mean, we talked about this last year when we talked about this movie, and or we talked about the last movie. Can I just say how fucking weird it was that he wasn't the final villain of this movie?
Yeah.
And when I say that, I don't. Okay, so Thanos goes through he goes through the whole thing, right? He goes through the whole shebang. He gets all the stones, snaps his fingers, half of life across the entire universe is fucking wiped out, right? He goes to his farm, he retires, and that's the end of the movie. Beautiful violin ends the movie. It's haunted. It's a haunting ending. Kids cried at the end of that fucking movie. Fucking adults went into deep depressions. For an entire year, if you were a fan of these movies, there was a lingering like, well, shit, everything went to shit. And then on top of that, you find out in this movie that apparently they didn't come up with a plan to deal with this shit for 5 years. So it is incredibly disappointing to me, as someone who really liked Infinity War, to see that the Thanos that we deal with at the very end of the movie is not the same Thanos from Infinity War. And when I say that, I mean, it doesn't have the emotional weight when you go into that conflict, right? I wanted it to be Tony and Thanos fighting. There's something there, right? Tony's whole arc since Avengers has been to build a suit around the world. It's been to prevent the next attack, to prevent the next invasion, to have it so that what happened in New York doesn't happen again. It's a big deal. It's a big fucking, it's his whole arc, right? Thanos is this theoretical alien invader that he always imagined, and then he finally shows up, and then he loses. And I wanted there to be that moment, right? The Thanos who succeeded, who, like maybe he took the Infinity Stones, he's like, I'm too tempted, and he instead of destroying them, maybe he sends them across the galaxy or something like that. Maybe he does something crazy, like, or better yet, he locks each one away in like some crazy ass other dimension, and there's no way to get them. And then he can still do the time travel stuff, and then he can be like, well, wait, you're trying to stop my plan. Fuck that, time to get, I'm gonna go get all the fucking stones again, and I'm gonna go and get my army from the past to fight you guys. And I know that sounds dumb. I know that sounds absolutely dumb. But at the same time, I don't feel like there's enough of a connection. Maybe he goes back into the past, kills his former self, takes his army, gets it ready to attack the Avengers headquarters, and then you have that same conflict where you have Tony Stark, who has failed. And you have Thanos, who is fighting for his dream, who's fighting for his perfected reality, right? The way that he sees it. So you have these two characters who were going through the character's arc and going through the character's journey, and you have another character who achieved that goal and is now defending that goal. The problem with having 2014 Thanos is that Thanos doesn't have the same sense of accomplishment to the audience or to us. Like he is big bad guy who needs to go fight because he's big bad guy. Like, I get it. I get that Thanos is weakened after the snap, but I just feel like you could even play into that, Have it so that, Captain Marvel's like trying to wrestle with him with, like trying to push against his fist, and he realizes that he's grown weak because he already did the snap or something like that. Have it so that, like, I don't know. It just... It cheapens the blow. To me, this movie would have been fucking amazing if you had this arc that doesn't exist because they decapitated Thanos in the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie. And in our theater...
First 10.
Yeah, first 10 minutes. And fucking, there was someone in our theater who cheered when that happened. And I was like, no! What? And then I realized what was going to happen. Because I've seen Thanos later in the movie in trailers, and I'm like, oh, well, shit. And maybe that's like...
So I just feel like because I totally agree with you, and it totally like ruins his whole fight with Tony later on in the movie, because he loses all of respect he had for Tony when he first fought him. It's just not there. And that's my biggest issue, is that he no longer respects him like as a person. So he doesn't feel like he has to give him the time of day. So we're back to square one. You know?
And another thing is that I also like the idea that because Luden Mercy pointed out that like there is a good point to this, right? The second Thanos idea was solid because Thanos gets to see what would have happened in the past, so that he can tweak his plan a bit, right? Because that's his whole gimmick. He wants the Infinity Stones so that he can, instead of wiping out half, he's going to just completely reset the universe, which. Yeah. If you ask me, is more like the Mad Titan kind of gimmick in the comics and stuff like that. That sounds exactly like that fucker would do. But it's weird because I do agree. I do agree that is very solid. But I also like the idea of a Thanos who gets to see his dream realized, and maybe it's not exactly what he wanted. Maybe, but he lives with it. He accepts what he's done. It's his ideal kind of, people might be suffering, but to him, they'll get over it, right? Because if he has to get over,
they'll be stronger when they grow past it.
Right, like how he has to grow stronger without Gamora, right? To have that resolve that he did that, And I think that would have, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking a little bit too hard into this, and maybe I'm being a little nitpicky.
Overall, it would have made a more interesting film at the end of the day. It's like, you can appreciate it for, like, what we got, but because I mentioned this, like, when we're talking about it, it's just, like, because it's Endgame. So, it put itself in a box because it had to have a good sense of finality. It's like, yes, we lost Tony Stark. It's like, yes, all the people that didn't get killed by the snap are still gone, even though we see them again in the movie. But like I said, they had to have that sense of finality in a good way, otherwise people would be too upset. Because they couldn't just end it as, like, they tried their best to fix everything, and they couldn't. It's like, because they couldn't leave it like that, for multiple reasons, mostly because of money, because you can't make more sequels if there's no heroes to make sequels of. But it's just like, because most of the actors within, like, the main cast of Avengers, they're, like, retiring from their roles. So they had to finish it in a way to, like, fit to all these needs, whether it made sense or not.
I mean, that makes sense.
It's like, it's disappointing, yes, but it's still a good movie at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But we were robbed from that because... Yes, like, because they're fighting, like, past Thanos, like, 2014 Thanos. So, Thanos technically, like, because he just wanted to achieve the stones, but I feel like he wouldn't have earned it, yet he still would have done it.
Yeah.
So, like, he lost his victory, and because they were fighting a past Thanos, then, like, the present one, they lost their victory as well. So both of the victories for them were bittersweet, whomever won. Because it wasn't the same Thanos at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like he didn't deserve the stones, though, because at least fucking, like, Infinity War Thanos, like, got his ass fucking beat every once in a while, was fucking hurt, and then had to lose, like, his favorite child. At least then it's just like, all right, well, at least you semi-earned them.
Okay, so I'm gonna Gundam Unicorn this, and I'm gonna give some Gundam Unicorn spoilers. All right. Warning: Gundam Unicorn spoilers, in case anyone cares.
Which you should, because Gundam Unicorn's good, and if you haven't watched it, please.
Yes. So Thanos is Char in this analogy, right?
Yep.
2014 Thanos is Full Frontal. Like,
I don't even know, like, if I would say that that's accurate.
It just doesn't feel okay. It feels like the Thanos that we fight at the end of the movie is just some big bad. He doesn't have the same weight or gravitas that the Infinity War one had. Now we're talking in circles. We're talking in fucking circles. We got to stop.
Hey, on a lighter note, Thor, am I right?
Yes, I absolutely love Thor in this movie. I
Oh,
love what
God.
Chris Hemsworth has done with the character. I love how every movie, like since Thor 3, we've had him go through these big ups and downs. And I don't know. I
Like,
just
he made it feel so much more fucking real. So, like, I mean, like, in the sense of, like, so you see how bad the world's gotten. You see how, like, shit everything's become within, like, 5 years. But I don't know why that was, like, the thing of just, like, the god of thunder looks like this now.
Yeah.
It's
Fucking
like, a literal god has given up.
my poor mom's friend. My mom has like this heterosexual life partner, and fucking she, since Thor has been a thing, has been religiously watching the Marvel movies only for Thor.
Oh, but
She
Dad
thinks
bod
this
Thor
man
is so good.
she thinks this man is like the hottest fucking thing, and she is so fucking into Thor. And then she fucking like then Endgame happened, and she literally just went, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like
See, I don't
throughout
know
the
about you. I'm
entire
I'm
fucking
still into
movie.
Dad bod Thor. I'd still be down.
Oh, I know. It's fine. Fucking, but her whole thing, she was so sad throughout the entirety of it because of this one thing. And I was like, really, Robin? Really?
Yes.
well, guys, I will say this. The movie, I also feel like, weirdly enough, it's good. It's a real solid movie. It's real solid. It's real fun. I will say that they did. I will give it absolutely to the marketing team. Those guys hid enough. Where there were still tons of fun surprises. There were still tons of great things. Professor Hulk, Fat Thor, fucking, just, I don't know. It was a fun ride.
Can I just say, I really liked the setup of like getting everyone together and everything. Like Hulk and like Rocket actually going to get Thor.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was so funny to me.
No, it's a fun little sequence. I remember looking at the back of the truck and I'm like, where the fuck are they going? Like, it felt like it did feel fun, and I am excited to see Thor in more in a Guardians movie, which begs the question: Thor 4 or Guardians 3? How are you gonna work that?
Well,
As Guardians of the
that's
Galaxy?
the thing, right? That's the thing, right? Is that they rehired the director.
That's right. James Gunn's back for 3.
Yeah, because Marvel apparently doesn't appreciate it when DC's like, "Oh, that's bullshit. They fired you over stupid shit." You know who doesn't care about their reputation? That's
Warner
right, bitch.
Brothers.
DC.
Oh.
What's up?
Citizens? No.
That too. Fucking, and so DC's like, please, please, we will pay you all the money. We have this fucking broken, fucked up movie. You must fix it. Its name is Suicide Squad.
Fix it, please.
They're like, we could work with our fucked up Justice League series. We could work with our Wonder Woman series. We could work with our fucking Batman series. They're like, we can't fucking do jack shit with Suicide Squad. Will Smith's not coming back.
But we got
We
someone
won't take
better.
our calls anymore.
I like who they're getting though. I have heard
Same.
the good shit, the good word.
Oh, same. Do I think it was a fucking waste that they only fucking had Clint Eastwood's son as fucking like a nobody in the background? Yeah. Do I think they should have used him for what he was like originally for? Yeah.
All right.
Oh, that boy.
Back to yeah.
I
Back
could go
to
on and
this
on
time.
Yeah.
with
So
DC about-
that being said, the DCEU has been a real slammer with Aquaman and Shazam, in my opinion. So, but the point is, The point is, Avengers Endgame. So this movie overall was really solid. I definitely have to see it again. I just feel like it was a really good finality to a lot of these characters. And to be honest with you, while I might not be excited to see, it's not that I'm not excited to see the future. It's just
It's because these characters have been there for so long. It's gonna be weird.
Yeah, but you ever see something that goes on for too long, and you wonder if like maybe they should have stopped while they were ahead?
When does it end? Yeah.
So that's my fear. My fear is that like so that they have some interesting things going on, right? They have we have another Spider-Man movie coming out, which I think is going to be the epilogue. It's going to be the epilogue to this whole shebang. And then we're gonna have we have Sam Wilson as Captain America, which hey, that happens in the comics. But now, admittedly, I'm really upset because I just reread Civil War 2, and I'm like, well, we can't do Civil War 2.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen.
I just reread it.
Yeah, no, it's still 2 months until the next Spider-Man movie, though.
Yeah, that is true.
Are you gonna cry?
I love my boys so much, so probably.
That's fair.
You was gonna say no, but the honest answer, probably.
No, I wasn't gonna say no because it's me. I'm a little bitch.
That being said, guys, I think that ends today's episode of Mitch's Minute. Let me go ahead and put there we go. So, guys, if you like this video, give that a like, comment, or subscribe, and all that stuff. We are coming back here in a month or two. We're still trying to get everything set up and squared away. But hey, when we're here's the thing, guys. When we are up, because of how this is working, we're trying to make it so that when we're up, we never have to go back down. Yeah. So, we're trying to get you guys 2 videos a day, trying to, come up with some fun stuff, fun gimmicks. We already are planning a gimmick month, and that should be some fun. So, with that being said, guys, we'll catch you guys next week for more fun.
Yeah, sorry, Dalen, that you just arrived.
We'll be back next week. I think I have no idea what the fuck we're gonna talk about next week because I think I have one plan, and that is Mr. Pikachu. Oh, I'm hoping I can go see it. Detective Mr. Pikachu.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Detective Mr. and Dr. Pikachu.
Dr. Pikachu would be so cool. You have a little sweater
also
and glasses.
Voiced by Ryan Reynolds.
No,
yes.
no, I wanted to be voiced by fucking Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yes.
Oh my god.
No real reason why. Just yes.
Hey, if I can see Sean and Hobbs or Hobbs and Shaw, and they fucking have a haka on that shit, then and the future's endless. All right, guys, we'll catch you guys next week for some more shenanigans, and we'll talk to you guys more later. Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.